the janazah for tomorrow at 11. And I don't know how y'all feel, but this is a very special time. It's not it's almost like a call to arms type of thing. But it's not that. It's not, it has to do with human element. It has to do with movement. It has to do with literally, it kickstarts everything, not technically, but in a way, everything we've been talking about for the last few years. I'll give you an example, is that I was going to talk about some of the things that are going on right now in the government, but bump the government, you know. It may survive another 2-3 days. Other than that, by the way, I just got a little message from this guy with a little donation, and you could see what it says. It's just a little donation. It ain't nothing earth-shaking. And the brother brought it by the other day, but he didn't. Well, he came by Friday, and it says such and such amount to the masjid and such amount to me. Okay, that happens all the time. You know, that people donate, you know, a certain amount of money, and then they hint or they say that this is, you know, get a little bit for yourself and for the masjid and what have you. But for me, if it comes to me, everything goes into the masjid collective. It always has. I've never taken a salary from the masjid, and nobody here in D.C. ever took a salary. Now, Oakland was different. Everybody in Oakland got a salary. If they did something for, okay, now the students, the teachers, and what have you, you could automatically realize that they would have to have, you know, something. But like y'all not on no salary thing, but in Oakland, Abdul Malik, anybody that was on the standard, Brother Mukhtar and them, like Mukhtar said, the lady said, we've been here for 23 years. You haven't been volunteered there for 23 years. You've been had a salary all the time. Every day you was here, you had a salary. In the last 10 years, you was stealing. Not only that, I didn't mean to talk about this, but in our accounts, I put Brother Mukhtar on one of our accounts. And he was supposed to take care of all the finances there. But I sent him $35,000, $40,000. You know, I would put it in the account, and he would dutifully take it out. He never raised one dime for Oakland. When he was Amir there, if he gets up and runs his mouth about money, he never. And the accounts show, you know, when I left here in 2017, and I had what do we call it? It was a mail crate. It had 3 sections of all of our paperwork. In one of those sections, I had the whole record of our bank transactions, and we could get the same thing again, you know, from the bank legally. That means what you don't put in, to who took it out, you know, the history of check cashing, all of that. But anyway, I was just saying that to say that Brother Tufayl was like that also. Brother Tufayl was like that also. He never got a salary, nothing.
I remember that was one of the things he said. He said, yeah, he was there in class, and he had said, it's not the community's job to take care of me. It's my job to take care. That was what he said.
Yeah, his job is to take care of the community.
I'm not supposed to
Yeah,
benefit off the community.
right. Well, in the long, big run, we might have some way off benefit, but he paid a certain amount of rent for the house, and when he started paying it, it wasn't technical. Well, it might have been worth that, but it's almost like, he told me, we have to double it or what have you, because he was paying $500 a month. And he said, so we have to do something with that. I said, it's all right with me. I have no argument, about anything. Just like if somebody said, oh, Imam Musa, we're going to, this, that. I said, hey, there's no charge for funerals, weddings, nothing, But we're not against donations. We're not going to argue with you if you just insist. So anyway, I wanted to talk just a little bit about Friday. I'll go over a lot of this stuff, but I just want to mention a little bit to the community here in D.C. And there's an ayat in the Quran that says, don't count your Islam as a blessing on, it's Allah speaking, don't count your Islam as a blessing on me, or technically it's on you. This is what we'll start our Jummah with, is that, but for the community here, we have to realize sometime when it's not a tragic event, an event like this happens, it wakes us up to a lot of things that's going on in our environment. So for the community here in D.C., this is like they had over at the masjid there, the pioneers and all of that. Well, D.C. is a pioneer city. Whether it was over there on New Jersey or wherever it was, these East Coast cities, if you're from somewhere else, you wouldn't realize it. But if you're on the East Coast, you realize these East Coast cities, especially like D.C., Baltimore, and especially New York, the Muslims have had a presence in these cities for decades and decades. And the thing I want to talk about now is that probably our next, let's call it memorials, Basically, I put it like this. We memorialize and we highlight everybody else's history, but we don't idolize our own. We bring up, you can bring up anybody, this Ayatollah, that Sayyid, you know what I mean? And we have days, communities have specific days that they speak about those people, right? Okay. As of right now, we're going to start doing that for ourselves, about some people who have passed away, like Brother Tufayl have passed away. But we're going to have programs right here and doing papers, writing articles on the character of Brother Tufayl. The character, the belief, the thoughts of so-and-so. We do it about everybody. You don't do it about Negroes. That's our fault. Ain't nobody supposed to come and do that for us. That's because that's one of the things that we highlight everybody. You can talk about whether we'll have a Mandela Day in our communities or anything on everybody else, but what about us right here? The Muslim community in the United States have lived an exemplary life, especially us. Now remember, if you take the earlier groups that call themselves, take the Moorish Science, the Nation of Islam, all of those groups, whatever you say about them, I want you to think about people accepting the ideology when in America the white man is pretending to be God, and you take a religion and said, this guy is the devil, and you have in your place of worship the American flag, and you have a Negro hanging, and this flag stands slavery, suffering, and death. And you believe in that. Or you talk about it in America. And just imagine in America, when they had the revolution in Iran, it was Negroes only out with Iranians in all the demonstrations everywhere, all the time. And they did it normally. And we're not going to immigrate back to or revolve back to anywhere. We're going to be right here, right? Now, if people talking about Black Lives Matter, suppose you're black and you accept Islam. You're talking about 3 strikes is out? And where you are, the people are wearing T-shirts like what we got here. Boss man bites the dust. Well, that's not new. Everybody, the beast and all of that, that was the language when we accepted Islam, right? That was the language of all the khutbahs. So when people talk about Black Lives Matter, I say, you lucky you wasn't no Muslim. You know what I mean? You had it good. You definitely, yeah, we feel sorry for you. You got a chance of getting shot, lynched, running around the block, you know what I mean, doing extra time in jail, all of that. But you wasn't no Muslim. You know what I'm saying? The point I'm making is the Muslims have made a strong statement here in the United States, but we haven't stood up for ourselves. So we're going to have programs related to, we're starting this right away, programs related to living martyrs. People who have transitioned. But we have people who are still alive. The next program we have, which will be very soon, I'm going to speak about a living personality. Right now, you know Brother Abdul Haq? Abdul Haq was when Muzaffar ad-Din died, he was the head of Islamic Party. People call him from all over the world, or wherever they pass away at. He handles all the funeral arrangements, all the different things. And everybody is his age and older. So, and one of the funny things, when he started coming here, he always came to the masjid. First we was over on 8th Street. And we had a meeting of all the older guys, and he was there at the meeting. We called it the Over the Hill Gang, the meeting of the Over Hill Gang. And when we had that meeting, we was discussing the masjid and what we wanted to do with it, and we couldn't get no traction at all. In fact, you wouldn't believe it, some of the brothers told me, shoot, Jamaicans came here and tried to take over the drug deal, and they couldn't get nothing in D.C. And can't nobody come from somewhere else. And I was just thinking, you've heard that, right? And I said, what does it, yeah, it just shocked me to death. I didn't jump up with my eyes big, but I said, the Jamaicans tried to take over somebody, and what does that have to do with Islam? I didn't even flinch. You would think that, yeah, okay.
I didn't hear that, but I heard he ain't from here.
He's not from D.C. He's not from D.C. Yeah. He's not. I'm not from D.C. Therefore, I can't come over and take over Islam. Of course, we was already into several years of activity over there, and A Street was relatively nice. It was a nice atmosphere. A lot of the older people came, and technically, on the outside, it was no fitna there. We didn't have basic, because everybody knew what fitna was. So people were so happy that they didn't have to go to Masjid Muhammad, I mean, a masjid over there, whatever they do. They were so happy that they could go somewhere else. You wouldn't believe it, cars up on A Street used to be up and down the street. You would think, I don't know how, I have no idea. Brother Tufayl and I used to talk about it, how all of those people got into that little building. I mean, there would be a group of sisters over there, a whole group, and the masjid, it would be packed, but how would they get it? How would all of those people get there? Unbelievable. It just wasn't, it didn't make sense, but it really happened. So anyway, Brother Abdul Haq, after the meeting, he said, now you see what we've been dealing with all the time. He said, because the same guys from his era, he knew everybody there. He knew everybody there. I'm not going to mention their names, but they were the Overhill gang. And they didn't want to do, for some reason, it was not about Islam. It was about, we didn't start this masjid. And that was one brother lived not far from here. He had a little respect in the community. And he mentioned he wanted to teach a fiqh class, an Arabic class. But he told me something about shortening Maghrib prayer. And I said, shortening Maghrib prayer? I said, what are we going to do? 1.5 rakats? How is that going to work? And so I said, no. I said, if you're talking that time, I don't know what you would be talking about in there. If, of course we shorten our prayers, for the ones that can be legally shortened. But Maghrib is not one of them. It ain't nothing happening with Maghrib. Anyway, if you look all around the country, the remnants of Islamic Party is everywhere. You go to some meetings and you'll see guys wearing turbans that went to school in Iran or somewhere. They children of the people. Abdul Haq know them all when they was little kids. Some of them write some very beautiful stuff. Anyway, so I'm going to talk about his history, his contribution while he's alive. We don't have to wait till people, what was the type of characteristics that you would have to have that when the crackdown came on your movement, some went down here, and you had to hold all of that together. We talked about it all the time, but what are those elements? See, we have people amongst us, we don't even pay no attention. Or if somebody else was doing that, we would say, that's a great guy, right? That's Maulana so-and-so. But when we do it, it's just brother so-and-so, right? It's insanity. We're not going to do that anymore. We're not going to allow people to misrepresent, and I'm not saying we're going to demand what we got coming, but African American Muslims in America have stood by everybody on every level at all times over long periods of time with no throat cutting, backbiting. They have been sincere. And as of yet, I have seen nobody stick with us. Have you seen anybody? I haven't seen nobody stick with us. This is what they're doing to you guys. Therefore, we're mad about that because we're all Muslims. It's all right for us. You hear us mention, I don't care whether it's Palestine, Yemen, we on everybody's side, right? And we're on their side psychologically, spiritually, religiously, and physically. If it's a demonstration, we're going to go out, and if we go out for them, we know what it's going to cost us. It's not a free ride. Oh, you're going to go out and just, you're going to be with Yemen, or you're against the Khashoggi's killing, and the friend of the boss man is the one that killed them, cut them up in little pieces, and, with bone saws. Can you imagine these people's stuff they do? Okay. Just not to mention, and it was September 15th, 2001. I had an invitation to speak in Palestine. From Sheikh Riyad, the head of to speak inside the Zionist state to the Islamic movement. I said, I'm not going. I love y'all. I'm going to talk about you as long as I'm here or somewhere in any other country, but I am not going to where the Israelis have charge over me. They can do anything they want. And they don't tell boss man nothing. They say, we got you, nigga. We're going to do it. We're going to Khashoggi-ize the nigga. They could do that. Nor I might have showed y'all the Hajj visa, picture the Hajj visa, but they sent it after the Hajj. And Hajj is a pillar of Islam. And I'm not stalling, but I'm taking my time. As long as them guys is running things, I believe everybody should go to Hajj. Good, go. And I'm going to go because I can't have no intention. I ain't going to Hajj. But maybe a little delay or something. Maybe they, what the Saudis do to people? The death rate, how they slaughter and murder people. Imagine I go float in like Hajis for Iranians, of course, not that I'm an Iranian supporter, but in '87 they killed over 600 people from Iran, killed them. Then the last, maybe 2015, there was another several hundred people. We don't know what happened. All Iranians. They just killed. So here, Iranian got Iranian flag on them. Hey, man. Anyway, so for what we moving into right now is taking charge and reaffirming ourselves. Our idea is, we visited our brothers the other day at Thacker Lane Center, and we had settled on doing work together. Okay. The global Muslims, they keeping the Muslims tied down. The West will develop Boko Haram in this place, right? And all the Africans will be killing each other. Okay, they'll have Daesh and everything, and They had them all new trucks and weapons in Iraq and in Syria, and it was unbelievable. And they taught them what they taught them, and they designed to kill Muslims. That's their job. Okay? We're not going to fight physically any Muslims, and we've already proved it. That's what that assault in Oakland was about. I'm going to show the people a picture over and over again. This shows you where we're coming from. We are not going to fight, even though the people may be stumble bums and may have crackhead behavior. And they might be on the most human, the lowest part of the totem pole for human standards. And anybody, y'all have seen the paperwork, that a Negro will call the white police in Oakland, California, and tell them that there's a guy who have guns in the masjid, and he just brought 2 shotguns from D.C., and everywhere you look is guns. But all the other paperwork, ain't nobody ever found no gun, because there ain't never no gun. And the police, if you thinking about a gun, the police will shoot you in the United States. And it's not news for nobody. What kind of Negro, we're not just bringing this up now, we're going to bring this up for years and years, because we're not in no hurry to solve these things in the court. We're going to bring them to the public eye. We're going to write books on all of this. Everything happened in Oakland is for a reason. The reason we're not solving this problem in the courts is not foot dragging, but that's not the way we're going to deal with this. We're going to show everybody in the world how this should be done. This is not arrogance, but everything. How do you deal with crackpot murderers? You got to break out with a big smile and a big hug. That's what we do. That's what we've already done. Not waste your bullets. It's haram for one Muslim to kill another Muslim. That's our stand. On masajid and what have you, we've been not stalling, but on a long time. But here's our approach. The new centers that we open will have this character. We just flip a coin for the first one. Okay, let's say the first masjid that we establish now. The imam would be probably, let's say, the first one. Might be a Sunni, and staff is Sunni and everything, but Shias can have all their programs there, or whatever they want to do. Right? We got to show them how this is done, because they don't do that anywhere. The next masjid will be a masjid, the imam will be a Shia, and his staff will be kind of like Shia. When they have the prayer, when they call the adhan, Ashhadu an waliyullah, Ashhadu an Ali hujjatullah, yeah, that's what we're going to say. That's what we're going to say, because that's what, right? And every other masjid, another Sunni masjid, it's just, right? Then the next one, another Shia masjid. But the Shias can do anything they want in the Sunni masjid, but when they do the prayer, everything, everybody's going to pray. Like if the brothers want to put turba down, they can put turba down. Just like here, they can do anything they want. And we're going to show them that you can do that, because they don't know how to do it. Think about it, they don't know how to do it. That's the opportunity. That's, when you think about what's our mission, that's been our mission all along, to show people how to practice Islam in the first quarter of the 21st century. That's our job. That's one of our missions. And that's what, with God's help, that's what we're going to do. I mean, that's what we're going to do. And remembrance programs and all of that, they're going to start right away. We might have one in 2 weeks. We might have one brother speak about Tufayl, and I'll speak about Brother Abdul Haq. We already got the game on food, right? We'll have it in there. We'll tell everybody on this thing. And that's what we'll do. I mean, soon. We're not going to wait for weighing. If we're going to start that stuff right away. And September 15th will be, we'll call it something, but it'll be Brother Tufayl's birthday, so we can't call it a celebration. We'll call it something. Don't worry about it. Yeah. And we're going to talk about Brother Tufayl and people like Brother Tufayl. And there's Negroes all over America. Ain't nobody said nothing about. Good Negroes, the Muslims here. You got to remember now, we accepted Islam, and everybody else that's a Muslim and all these people are trying to integrate into America. And they go pay all our big speakers to talk about integrating into America. And here we are talking about we don't want no part of that. They talk about get out to vote. We say if you want to vote, go ahead. We read the part that said the Constitution, the Declaration of Independence, never had no idea or never thought nothing about us being a part of this country. And they have practiced that up till today. Where could you, a population of people, you could give a badge and a gun to a third grade educated white man, and he has the legal ability to shoot you, to take your life without an order from the court, right? Without nothing. And they think that's so. They don't think it's nothing wrong with that, right? Can you imagine? You can't do that anywhere in the world. They talk about Soviet-style oppression. What more oppression than it is, and you could take people, the lowest level of the people that didn't like you, because the higher level, we'll go to school, we'll do whatever. They're nice people, right? But the ones that the only thing they got going, you got to remember, in Dixie, the only difference between a poor white man and a poor African American is that he was white. They call him white trash. White trash. Can you imagine? They call them that, white trash. Now they call them trailer trash and other numbers. You give them, the only thing they got going is that in the hierarchy, they're one step above you because of race. You got to remember, I was listening today, the police department, the black police have been stepping back from. Some have resigned from, they resigned. Why? Because in Houston or somewhere they voted for, they're gonna vote for Trump. They said that don't have nothing to do with us. So the black police and they can see what's going on, right? They're there. And they know when they go out with anyway, it's a long story. They give them guys. You notice, out of all the black police in the United States, how many black police have shot down a young black kid? Technically, huh? I heard of one case, one guy shot one, and he was probably crazy. But nobody else, it don't happen. Okay. they give the right of a judge, jury, and executioner to these idiots. And people don't believe that people leave the police station looking for an opportunity to either brutalize or kill a black person. I would say 25% of them have it. See, all other people, they ain't never been in the back room where ain't nobody back there but you and that white man. There ain't no barrier between. You see who they are. They can tell me anything they want. I said, shoot, I was already in a room with Boss Man. I already know where. I don't care what your statistics say. I done been in the room with him several times. I've been in a situation where the only thing saved my life was a big pretty car, because police pulled me out of my big pretty car, left the doors open, the sunroof back, and they took me around the corner to a Royal Park to finish the job. And they was in the process. The people, it was 82nd Avenue and Bancroft, they looked and that's Big Hank's car. So that everybody in the neighborhood was looking, where's Big Hank at? His doors was wide open. You know what I mean? The car got mink in it, got an 11-channel telephone. What is this car doing open like that? The police just took him out, and they looked like they was going around the corner. The people pulled up to the Royal Park. The police had me in the parking lot, and you know when talking about the cavalry blowing the whistle and everybody walk in, the Negro, you think you ain't never been happy to see no Negroes, but I have, I tell you. Ain't no sense in me lying. To this very day, I like Negroes. The Negroes pulled up. There they are, there. And the police was mad. So I don't care technically about no statistics. I say them. I say them because, just saying them. But when they talk about the police, you can't tell. Y'all ever see my police record, arrest record? Nobody in the United States has one of those. Nobody lived through that many arrests over that long a period of time, right? So police brutality and all of that, hey, you have to know, I use the term has as not fortunate, but lucky. Because you can use those that do this, that, they're going to be fortunate. That's what they're going to say. But the next meaning is lucky. Yeah, I know what it is. I'm telling you. Anyway, I'm going to speed up. Our past prison movements, Muslims used to get out of prison and join the movement. The Muslims in prison are there. That mentality that they have overseas, the overseas Muslims, this is the problem. The overseas Muslims have taught us how to fight each other and to disrespect each other. Here we are, born and raised on the same block, same city, same environment, with the same elementary school, everything else, and we accept Islam. And somebody from Ooga Booga land, right, comes over here and tells us, tell one, you can't like him because he's a red-headed Muslim. You can't like him, he's a black-headed Muslim. We used to use long-haired Muslim. What do you think they think about the long-haired Muslim and the short-haired Muslim? The same thing, right? That's what we're trying to say. So, the Muslims, we have to revive that. And we have to teach the Muslims in prison that come out of prison with a program to join the movement. But you have to have a movement. Imagine this is the first period where there hasn't been a movement to join. No movement to join. Okay. All right. So we show our head wounds as a symbol of peace. Perception management is how they act. They draw the picture of us and they act according to that picture. Now, that's the system. But the anti-Muslim establishment draws a picture of African American Muslims, right, for the foreigners. And so you could look at the masajid and the centers around here. Okay, one place, one of the leaders used to come here all the time. The first thing he said, we used to go out to their joint on Friday evening and give talks, sometimes give khutbah. He said, they are not beggars. He came here and saw what we was doing. And that's the first, I said, why would he say that? You wouldn't go to one Muslim place and say, they're not beggars. But when he came here, he said, they are not beggars. No, out there in Manassas, that's the first thing, that center is different. Because see, they always was giving us and controlling. That's why when you can see certain centers, you can see where they initiated the thing to draw people away from here. But we're going to use that against them. Yeah, we ain't going to let nobody come and y'all can't be friends. Oh, not that well, because of such and such. That's y'all's problem, right? That's y'all's problem. We're going to show you how, oh yeah, we can't do it, watch and see. That's where we're headed right now, inshallah. That's part of the, it's not a gift, Brother Tufayl, but it's something that you dedicate. It's a dedication for a life of service, right? Everybody is dedicated to life of service. What about us? What about somebody that's dedicated their life, right, to the service of Islam? And Allahu Akbar, and they go home. We're not going to do that anymore. Absolutely not. We're going to research and find our brothers and sisters who have made a contribution to Islam in America, and we're going to have regular programs. They can come or they don't have to come. If they don't come, we'll eat up the food ourselves and have a nice, program amongst ourselves. But we're going to invite people to come and begin to learn and appreciate your history, right? Appreciate your history, your contribution. Okay. We talked about one living, one past, the character and the lifestyle of our people. I'm going to skip over a lot of this stuff and just do it on Juma. As for now, tomorrow we're suggesting that all of these things we're talking about doing, we have to do it ourselves. That means we want our people to contribute to when we dedicate a life, person is dedicated their life to Islam, and we have a program in their honor, we want our people to contribute to that financially. That's the main thing everybody has used against us. Why do you think from the very beginning, not only the demand of Islam, but we own our own property? And even when we bought the property over there, across the street, we had some things we wanted to still do here, but we took the money and bought the property across the street. Why? Because we know it's a time limit on this. It's a shelf life. We can already see that they're tightening up their boats and they're shifting this thing and that thing, and pretty soon It's going to be slam shut on us. And what is it now? It's slam shut. All right. And then the demobilize, the immobilize, where you can't get the benefit from that. We pay the price for it. Around now on 8th Street, they done doubled and tripled up how much we have to pay on the 45. Everything else is 0.85%. On that is a higher percentage. To get us to sell it, we're not going to bother with it. Don't worry. They put stuff on the property over there. That thing is lot number 13. They write stuff on us for lot number 15, 14, 15, and 16. Those three unfinished. They charged us $1,500, $2,000, $11,000. I still got the thing. They was going to charge us if we didn't read the number of the lot. The people are dirty. They're way dirty. Remember, what I'm saying is, I don't have enough time to explain the dirt that they deal with us, and we're still here. Look, from now on, from where we're going now, we're not going to drag up all of the old stuff on this person, that person. We're moving ahead. Every now and then we will mention a few things, but we're going to push things that push what the Muslims need. And Muslims need to recognize their contribution, not who other people recognize. Look who other people recognize. I couldn't get a barbecue sandwich in California. They'd always invite Abdul Malik. I tell Abdul Malik, yeah, W.L. Nolan was a friend of mine. W.L. Nolan, he taught the Soledad brothers. And the next thing I know, Abdul Malik is, do you know who W.L. Nolan was? I said, well, not only was he, his cousin taught us boxing at the masjid. When I talk about boxers, his cousin is still my best friend right now today, 100 years for last 100 years. Anyway, so all the immigrants would invite Abdul Malik to come to talk about the black movement. He never saw a black person, hardly in his life. And he was talking about the black movement. It's not that I'm saying, okay, I happen to be at the headquarters of all the black things contributed. I happen to be in exile. I happen to be over here. I happen to do this. I happen to do that. And I'm there on first base all the time, looking and waving at in other words, oh, you talk about this case, that guy, we was in exile together, he did this, he did that, right? They're not going to call you to speak nowhere. Like right now, all the Negroes, look who they bring. People who have never spent 1 second in the black movement. But they talk about it like you would think they was there. Right? Hey, I'm telling you, dear believers, we got to, we're going to, and this is not out of anger, or this is because we owe it to the historical process to write our own history, right? And they done established 2 or 3 organizations recently. Their goal, their specific thing was to take care of that. They never take care of it. How you know who helped organize it? The ones that wave the flag for them, take care of them. They all right? And the only thing you got to do is make sure Imam Musa can't raise his voice anyway. That's the only thing. You just do that, you got it covered. You got support, You got love, affection. And then you have the Negro over Dar Hijri raised $36,000 to tell the people, this is years ago, we have a different approach to Islam than Musa. So, I said, well, we're supposed to be in the same organization. We want everybody to come to Islam in America. And that's actually a 100% lie, as though we don't want everybody to come to Islam in America. Anyway, put up with it. If you think you was putting up with something before, you wait till another couple of weeks. We're going to put up with it because from strength, we're going to show people how to interact with your own people and how to keep other people out of your business because they're jealous of you, because if you stoop down and let them, they'll walk on top of you. And you're 10 times as strong, you just don't know it. We're not going to do that anymore. So tomorrow, that's what we'll just jump to is to our program tomorrow. So we have all the food ready. Well, we got to finish off a few sausages. So we got plenty of chicken, plenty of mac and cheese. We'll boil eggs for the salad. We have, what else? String beans. And our delicious rice. And we're going to have sausage patties. That'll be a pretty good meal. And then we're going to have French toast. But I just forgot one thing. We're going to have hot syrup, but you know the way people spray that dairy stuff on. Since it's French toast, we don't need no strawberries or nothing. But the whipped cream, people, they say they like that now. Well, we'll see. We'll just buy some and put it there for them, right? So one thing they won't be able to if they talk about it, it'll be with their mouth full of food. That's something that the people all turn down. Yeah, they got putting over the bad that stuff right there, man. One of the things, and I'm going to close, we had a beautiful program over at Masjid years ago. And it was a lady came and talked about health. Might have been Al Khair or something like that. Maybe you don't remember. It was so. She said about me, Imam Musa was looking at me, and when he was eating on a chicken bone. Of course, everybody knew that I was vegetarian. It as something that I don't believe anybody has ever seen me eating on chicken bone because I don't ever remember eating on a chicken bone. The last time I remember was 1964. So anyway, it was just the way people lie. They lie and it don't even make no sense. You know what I mean? And everybody listening to them know they lying. You know what I mean? Oh, I thought Imam, nobody said, I thought Imam Musa was a vegetarian. I didn't know that he was eating on chicken bone. But they could say, technically, chicken is poetry, They could say that, right? Eggs, poetry, and anyway, it's a long story. Yeah, does anybody have any, the way we would do it tomorrow? Brother Tufayl's cousin just stopped by. And so I remember Brother Tufayl talking about, he used to talk about all this. He talked about him a lot. and he's a preacher like. So when I was talking to him, he was hinting that I would sure like to say something tomorrow, you know, and of course we said it would be perfect. He has all of that history, you know, a family history. So I said, we'd love to have you speak tomorrow. So the way the program would go is, so far we'll bring his body in here, up the steps and through here. And we'll have it right there. That's where we'll have it. We'll do the prayer. Then I will give between 5 and 15-minute talk. Then I'll turn it over to Tariq and Rashid, and they can include all the younger family. And when they finish, I'm going to tell him that when he finishes to invite his uncle, whatever it is, up. But if he don't, I'm going to come up and I'm going to invite the brother to officially come up. This is Brother Tufayl's first cousin, and we would like to him. They grew up together, and I remember many of the stories. We'd like for him to just fill us in on some of the family characteristics. And we had a nice talk down there. And he told me, he said, would it be wrong for me to say that Tufayl, when he became a Muslim, he became the best, what we would call a Christian? I said, no. I said, you can't be a Muslim unless you believe in Jesus. What? I said, yeah. We call him Esau ibn Mary, Esau, the son of Mary. You can't be. I said, and we believe in the virgin birth, and we believe he's coming back. What? I said, yes, indeed, he's coming back. Don't worry about it.
You like those, I remember one time, those Jehovah's Witnesses that came to the door that their jaws actually dropped.
Yeah. No, he composed himself, but he was like, yeah. I said, no. So whatever you. In fact, I'm going to get some of those flyers we had. Remind me if I forget. Remember the flyers we had, message to the churches? I think a lot of the family is still going to be Christian. So we might just happen to have them. Okay, perfect. We'd like to get 50 or something like that, whatever. Anyway, that's perfect. Yeah, anyway, we've always tend to be in the move or ahead of the move. We don't have time to talk about all of our alternative resistance and what have you. But that's what we're doing, alternative resistance, including alternative fitna, to show people how to live Islam in this century without people messing up their life. That's what we're going to do. Technically, we've already done it. Like in this area, no matter what you say, all of us, the brothers, we all get along very well. Yeah, we get along very well. But we're going to show them how to manually, functionally do it. Yeah, and we expect that they're not going to like it, but we're going to do that. Because see, there's something that's been going on. This is not a racial thing, but for all of the oppression and everything else, do you know who the world is more jealous of than anybody? It's us. Not only are they jealous, don't never let nobody say, oh, I don't know what all these crazy Negroes now, but they always, what music do people of the world like? Negro music. when Negroes changed rap, they changed. When they evolved the hip hop, they hip hop right along with them. The Russians are doing it. Been doing it. It's 30 years, 40 years old now. Everybody follows the Negro. Everybody imitates the Negro. The standard of discussion in America, that dialogue, I remember 20-something years ago, 30 years ago, the white kids were saying, that's cool. I said, niggas been cool since 1953. That's when I remember. I said, niggas been cool. We had, every people had somebody my age or a little older called Cool Breeze in every neighborhood. I met a guy, Negro here in D.C., I guess it was a refrigerator, something. What's your name? Cool Breeze. I said, that's right, that's niggas Cool Breeze. Yeah, that right? And the white folks just got cool 30 years ago. Hey, dude, that's all. Dude, that's, all that stuff is us. All of it. It's a bad dude there. That's our language, that's our culture. Everything, so there's a guy came here yesterday and another day. Anyway, I think there's a lot of stuff that will be, we got a lot to offer the world, and we're going to offer it to the world on our own terms. Without some cut, they put a little cut on this. That's good, but that could stand a cut. We got to lighten it up a little, right? Lighten it up. We're going to send it to the people just like we got it. So if it's at 11 o'clock, whatever time we finish, we're going to try to keep, so us right here, we should be the kind of one person upstairs to kind of manage the seating, like only the old people, you know, and it's going to be a lot of them. And mostly old sisters that, and ladies that have dresses on that just don't, they can't do nothing but wear them. Anyway, so no, we specialize, you know, we have, our best dower here is funerals and weddings. Because all other people come and we be talking to them, not to the Muslims. Y'all getting married, good for you. But we talk about, and everybody, man, that's Muslims do that? Yes, that's what we do. Now, if we can get them to live like that, boy, we'll be in a big time. If we can get the Muslims to live like Islam. Okay, on the thing about food, we should, maybe we should have it right outside the store, okay. Yeah. The next thing is, how many tables? Maybe 3 tables or maybe 2. I think we should have, maybe, what was this? 3 is fine. Here's the way we're going to announce. They say after we have the janaza, then everybody should go and, okay, here's what we're going to suggest. We're going to suggest that is everybody is lining up, anybody that wants to eat right now. Because remember, it's going to take 20 minutes for them to get lined up, minimum. So they should eat. Probably it'll take a half an hour from the count. That's going to take a half an hour. So in the meantime, all of those that that want to eat now, you can eat now. Then, as everybody's lined up and leaving, we'll have 1 or 2 people to line y'all up. And y'all go right on up there. And then the people up there, when they finish, then they can come back down here and eat. Does that make any sense? Instead of everybody just running up there, Because first of all, we're going to have the food hot and ready. We want the people to eat it. Right? So, if they just go up there, they may not get back here.
And I do know that, I guess we are anticipating a lot of, non-Muslims. And I know that, I know the Muslims will be keen on going to the burial site, but I don't know if the non-Muslim family's gonna be super pressed to go.
Whatever it is, we'll have the food here,
Right.
and we'll have it for at least 2, 3, 4 hours till people stop coming. And even if people exhaust the food, we got a lot that we can zip together. If it started looking low and we got an hour, we can boost all that up. Yeah, we can boost it up even if we had to stand in the kitchen ourselves. Right, yeah, that's what so we will always have sufficient. Right now, we have four pans of chicken, and each one of them have about 25 legs in each one. And then we have another one left over, that 125. Then we have the sausage or did anybody taste any of the chicken patties? How was it? Okay, good. All right. That's fine. Okay. So we should be here all early, and then we got water. It's one down here, and I got 2 in the car. So that makes 3 of those waters, so there's enough water, I'm assuming. Okay, the only thing we have to do now is boil the eggs and finish for the salad and finish up the patties. Okay, any comments or anything like that?
And we're gonna, bring in this body to the front door.
Yes. Well, Tariq said, don't worry about this. He said, for instance, if the small one is down, it's no problem. But we just tack it back up. It's just tacked. So whatever happened is fine. Yeah. Yeah, because we can detach this and push it right under.
Yeah, we can just take it off. I was just,
Yeah, well, you can just take the bottom one off, or actually take the side of it off, and it'll just come right on in. And we can put this stuff right here, right behind whatever's over there, right over there, right there. And did we? It's clean right to the thing. Okay, perfect. We're ready to go.
so we're gonna set up 3 tables outside, I guess along tarps.
It looks the weather. You know what? We could put that tarp down, and what we'll do is we could put at least 3 or 4 tables out there, even if we have to cut it down to 2 tables. Because if we're going to feed like we said, 2 tables might do it. But I don't know. We'll see. But we should have tables, and then we'll slide the chairs out of this door right here, and they can sit right there and eat.
Okay, but yeah, the tables, we're gonna serve the food outside.
We're going to serve the food outside, and we'll have the tables. We'll have tables out there too. We won't set them up until we'll set up the food before we start the janazah. But the tables, we'll have them sitting up against the door of the masjid or something. just unfold it. Then, soon as everything is over, we'll pop them open, get the spreads on them, I need the cloths, and we'll get busy.
Did we decide, do we know which brothers are gonna, because, some of the brothers are gonna have to stay back to staff. Other brothers probably, like from Masjid here,
Okay, for the, could you handle any ceremonies that's gonna happen at the grave site? Just Rita, you got everyday fiqh or anything like that? Technically, the only thing sometimes is a dua sticking a twig in the, I don't believe they're gonna even have time to, they might have time to cover the grave. If they cover the grave, now Tufayl's grandmother, they didn't have time to do that. We had the janaza for hers at the grave site. You remember?
You mean, Saifedean?
Saifedean's, yeah. Yeah, we had, so sometime you stick a green twig in the dirt, something green to signify, life and what have you. But you got all night to refer to hadith and fiqh books on what the graves say. It's all, our religion is very simple and easygoing. That's what I was telling the brothers. We're not going to have a stiff funeral. It's relaxed and easygoing. We don't have to start by this time. We don't have to finish. We do, we just, we want to be reasonable, but we're not having it's not like, some funerals where the people are just falling all out and stuff like that. They can fall out, it's okay. No, you can do whatever come to you, Yeah, we're eclectic here. Is there anything else? So I'll be here if you want to be here, we can be here with the food, and we could have one more brother here with us. Yeah, he said he'd be here at 9:30. Yeah, we could finalize those things. Yeah, no, we have a general idea now. The other thing we want to tell the people, this stuff that we're having, we want you to support it. The reason we have not done this before is because people don't support their own enterprises. Therefore, we want to begin as a dedication to the life and the activity and the contribution for Brother Tufayl and others that you bring and fill up the box over there and duplicate this and give it to somebody else. We want to, you can't start and do these things unless you have some additional things to go with it. Now, when this first happened, some people said that they had Brother Tufayl's the funeral services and everything taken care of. Is that what everybody heard?
Yeah, that's what I have to clarify with Tard because.
No, it didn't happen.
It didn't happen.
It didn't happen at all.
Okay.
That's why you saw the transfer yesterday of, I got the call and I just said, just wait and I'll hustle up whatever it takes. So uh, in a way, it threw things out of, because they were saying if we have to wait till the insurance goes through it, then it'll be, I said, no, we're not going to wait for the insurance, bump the insurance. I said, what about take care of the insurance later? Or when it clears, it'll clear, because it would have been several days later before they could verify. Yeah, we would have to delay everything. And so that's why we just said, no, we should do it just like we laid out. We began taking care of our own businesses today. That's, so, and it always costs. So we just, no, it's fine. I'm just saying, independence costs. Independence costs. That's why ain't nobody independent. It costs. I mean, people are tied up in debt. They're not independent. When you owe somebody a lot of money, you're not independent, right? Everybody in America mostly is in debt. They're in debt to their car, in debt to their house. How many people are like us? We own everything we have. That's a big deal. Now, years ago, it was really a big deal as time go on. But you got to remember, we've been stopped in our tracks for over 15 years. We did this in 10 years. 10 years? Yeah, we did everything we did here in D.C. Came, opened a masjid, bought another place, did this. All of that was, by the time we got here in 89, that's right, by 99, by 2001, we had acquired all of this. So we've been on the bad list for 18 years. We haven't made one move forward in 18 years. This was done, that's why everybody was, what? They didn't believe black people could do it, but it was simple. It was management. Just management, organization. Anyway, any questions or comments?
Yeah, someone asked, are we going to live stream the janazah?
Yes.
Okay, all right.
Maybe you should be right over there so you could get us, and every now and then move it. Yeah, but we're gonna, and then when the people speak, they'll be speaking from up here. So you'll be able to get a good side view. Those plugs over there work and everything. Definitely we're gonna live stream it. Definitely. We're gonna do just like we're doing it, live stream it and we want the people to know we're making a statement that we are, this is our Declaration of Independence. This is our movement, Declaration of Independence. This is a new movement. This, not a new movement, but this, all of this stuff, it starts, and it's ironic. It is actually good that the people said they would take care of certain things and couldn't, because it forced us to do certain things that signify independence. Okay? But independence costs. Right? Everything is perfect. All of this stuff is falling right in the proper line. Allah keeps people alive till their situation fits into His plan. This is just the way we feel. I mean, So everybody else, they could be sad and all of that, even when certain things are shocking. But then you have to make the moves that this is valuable, that's valuable, that's valuable. And we're going to make sure that people look at it like it's valuable. Yeah, inshallah. Does anybody have any comments on any of that?
That's everything. No
Okay.
comments.
All right. أقول قولي هذا واستغفر الله